Hi, everybody. We are going to get started here in just a couple of minutes. Please go ahead and take a look at our housekeeping slide to make sure that you can hear us, and also with some instructions on how to ask your questions during the webinar. My name is Kimberly Logan. I run operations here at iConsumer, and I am happy to introduce to you our CEO, Robert Grosshandler, who will take you through our agenda today.
Well, thank you, Kim. It is a great day to be inside working on iConsumer. It's definitely sub-zero in the Chicago area. We're going to cover about 6 things, but putting out a request, if you have any questions, hopefully we have some answers for you. We'll be able to get to them either during the course of our half hour, or certainly at the end. Thank you again for being iConsumer members, being iConsumer owners, being iConsumer shareholders. We're going to talk about what it means to be a shareholder. We're going to give a quick recap as to what's going on in the markets. It's been busy recently. We're going to, just in case, we're going to go over how iConsumer works. For those of you who are ready to sell, we're going to go through the basics of selling iConsumer stock. And then perhaps near and dear to my heart is the refer a friend. How do you maximize ownership portion of the half an hour? So first and foremost, being a shareholder means you're an owner of the company. You own a piece of the company. You own equity in iConsumer, shares of stock. We think that's really important because that aligns your interests with the interests of the company. If we do well, it's going to be because people like you make us successful. And if we do well, you're going to do well. So along the way, everything we do has you in mind, and hopefully everything you do has us in mind as well. The way you can tell, one of the ways you can tell if iConsumer is being successful, is that our stock price may very well increase. There are lots of things that affect the price of the stock, but the one that we control most of is how much business iConsumer does, and that's where you guys come in. The next thing that is of concern to people who own stock in iConsumer, like they own stock in any business, is how easy it is to buy or sell. We're going to be giving you some examples today of what has happened in the market, and the easiest way to do that is just type into your browser OTCQB. RWRDP. That actually means that we're on the QB market, on the over-the-counter market, and our ticker symbol is reward with a P on the end for preferred. So here it is, and this is actually as of earlier today. I'm going to get my pointer going, and this is as of 1:11 today, East Coast time, and the last buying or selling happened at 14.9 cents. And this is telling us that someone's willing to buy it for 5 cents and someone's willing to sell it for 15 cents. We're going to drill into this just a little bit more now. Right. So here's the list, right? We've got somebody who's willing to buy 12,000 shares, 12,500 shares at 5 cents a share. Another person who's willing to buy it at 5 cents a share at 10,000 shares. And on the other side, the ask, that same person who's willing to pay a nickel won't sell it to you for anything less than 15 cents. 15 cents, 35.5 cents, 48 cents, and 60 cents, almost 61 cents. I like to round up in these particular instances. This is known as the bid ask, and you'll note that this is a very wide range. And in companies like iConsumer, which are early in their stages, have low liquidity, you're going to see a wide range of prices. So you can see that over the course of since February 26th, we had 5 trades actually happen on the 26th. It was in terms of the number of trades, this is perhaps a high point. And we had 100 shares trade at 6 cents, and 100 shares at 14 cents, 14.9 cents, 14 cents, 14.9 cents, which is really interesting. We're beginning to see some volume sneak into the marketplace for iConsumer stock. It is still very, very tiny. It is early days. And you're going to see in a lot of our communications, we talk about while you can sell iConsumer stock anytime you want at a price that you may or may not find acceptable, we're positioning this as an early stage company. We're still a startup, and so we're trying to set the expectation that you're going to want to hold on to your shares of stock for several years. We may become more successful more quickly than we hope or expect, but we are, again, trying to set the expectation that this is a long-term play, not a short-term play. Yes, you can sell it, but it is not something that we're trying to make you expect that you're going to be able to do. So how do you get these shares of stock? Well, the best way, the absolute best way, is to go shop at one of about 2,000 retailers. Those retailers are paying us a commission every time you do that. That's where we make money. We're sharing that commission with you, our member, our shareholder, our owner, in the form of stock, right? You get stock in iConsumer as a reward for shopping. You also earn stock when you refer other shoppers, and sometimes you earn stock for other things as well. Now, we don't have it on this slide, but currently you also get cash back. So if, for instance, you go to Walmart and you buy something, you're going to see that you're going to get a 6.4% rebate made up of cash and stock. So once you have that stock in your hands, you don't actually ever get in your hands. We don't go to paper. We're a modern company. We're what they call book entry. Everything's electronic. You ask us when you're ready to transfer your stock from our books to a transfer agent. In our case, the transfer agent is Issuer Direct. Issuer Direct is a middleman that's mandated by the SEC to keep track of all of our shareholders. They have a really, really fancy Excel spreadsheet someplace in their offices. It costs $7.50 to do that. So you're probably not going to want to transfer your stock from iConsumer to Issuer Direct until you have enough of it to justify the $7.50 fee. We do this once a month, so that if tomorrow you tell us to transfer your stock to Issuer Direct, tomorrow being the 1st of March, it would happen at the end of the month. Once it's at Issuer Direct, you can leave it there. You can leave it at iConsumer if you want to, but once it's at Issuer Direct, you can say to your stockbroker, I want you to transfer the stock from Issuer Direct into your brokerage account. Our favorite brokerage firm at the moment is TD Ameritrade. They're doing this almost every day for people. And you basically say, hey, TD Ameritrade, I want you to get the stock from Issuer Direct into your TD Ameritrade account. They'll do that for you. There is another cost associated for doing that, and that's $25. And it takes 5 to 10 days for the paperwork to go between Issuer Direct and the brokerage account. So again, this isn't something that we suggest you do unless you have a mad desire to see your stock in your Ameritrade account. Now that's sort of fun, right? You have 1,000 shares, and the last trade's 14.9 cents. You'd see that you have $149 of iConsumer stock in your TD Ameritrade account, and that makes me feel good when I see people doing that. When you're ready to sell your stock, you tell your stockbroker that you want to place a sell order. In the TD Ameritrade world, you're probably going to do this online, but you could probably call up your broker and say, I want to sell. Now, here's where it's really important to understand that there are no guarantees that somebody wants to buy at the price that you're willing to sell. As we saw several slides ago, someone's willing to pay a nickel. A week ago, someone was willing to pay 14.9 cents. People have paid $1. People have paid 35 cents. People, when we were early, paid 2 cents or a nickel. So again, no guarantees that somebody wants to buy at the price that you want to sell at. Okay, that's the housekeeping stuff. How do you make sure that you have the most iConsumer stock that you can possibly have? Well, first, you always shop on iConsumer. You're going to get shares every time you shop at about 2,000 stores. Second, you're going to earn stock when you tell friends. It's that refer a friend program. And right now, when you refer a friend who goes and shops, you're going to earn 200 shares of iConsumer stock, approximately $30 worth of stock for helping iConsumer grow. And you can always buy our stock. And I say always, and I want to put a big asterisk on that. Always right now. So we don't have to be selling stock, but at the moment we are selling stock. So if you go to iConsumer.com/invest, you'll see that we would be very happy to sell you stock at 15 cents per share. So the 3 best ways to increase your ownership: shop, tell friends, and you can actually invest directly. The reason we do this is that the more valuable we are, we really believe the more likely our stock price is to go up. We don't control this. We can't control this. Boy, it would be really fun if we could control it. But when you control the price of your stock, people go to jail, and that's not a good thing. The fundamental way to make iConsumer more valuable is to have more people using it every day. And with that, you can help. You can make sure you can use shopping, and you can tell friends, and you can turn your phone off in the middle of a webinar as well. Again, we're early stage. You are participating in a publicly traded early stage startup. So while stock prices are generally volatile for companies, in our case, it's even more so. As you heard me say, we've gone from 2 cents to $1.05 and back down and back up in the course of a year. So we don't control, you don't control, nobody controls the price of iConsumer stock. What we do control is how often we shop and where we shop. All right, we talked about being able to buy iConsumer stock, and here's a bit of the history, right? So since June of last year, we've been selling stock to the public at 15 cents a share. We really started out a long time ago now, selling at 4.5 cents a share. And then as we became more substantial, we were able to raise the price that we were selling stock at to 9 cents a share. And now we're at 15 cents a share. A lot of people are in the iConsumer world are first-time investors in crowd-funded startups. And so we've created a couple of resources that are specifically for you. The first is Shareholder Academy, shareholderacademy.com, and it's a great resource. It's also where our blog is, so that as we see things that are interesting to share, or we make announcements that may affect how you view the goodness of your investment in iConsumer, that's where we're going to do it. Shareholderacademy.com. The other resource that we provide for you is our support site, where if you have a problem with a shopping transaction, if you have a question about how to use one of our apps, if you have any kinds of questions that are sort of technology related, support.iconsumer.com is your friend. So for general learning, Shareholder Academy. For general support, support.iconsumer.com. rebates.com. So we're a publicly traded company, and we need to make sure that we tell everybody the same thing at the same time. So we get to include safe harbor statements. That means when I say things like we think something's going to happen and it doesn't happen, we've told you that maybe, just maybe, you can't, you have to take it with a grain of salt. We do our best to tell you what we think we know when we think we know it. But if we're wrong, we want you to know that we're not always right. So to recap, go shop. And there are a couple of different ways you can do that, right? You can use our site. You can use the iConsumer button. You can use our iOS or Android apps to go shop. Shopping helps to make the entire thing go better. I'm a big fan of the iConsumer button. And I use my phone from time to time, but I think the screen's too small. And of course, I use the site. So we're here to answer any questions, hopefully provide some answers. Kim, do we have any questions that we can help people with?
Sure, just one so far. Sandra noted that the price changed quite a bit on the market, and we are selling for 15 cents right now. Looks like the questions are who controls the price that we sell it for, and how often will that change?
It's a great question. We control the price that we sell it for. We cannot change it easily more than 20% up or down, and we sort of don't think that we should change it willy-nilly. We have to file with the SEC the price that we're going to sell at. So that's one of the reasons why we don't change it frequently. And we've only changed it, as you saw, twice in the past several years. It's not something that we intend to change frequently. But to recap, we control that price, and it is as part of the SEC documentation. The SEC does not allow us to sell at market.
All right. We also have a couple of questions now from Neil. I'm going to answer the first two because they're sort of in my operations wheelhouse. The first question, why can you get different rebates on different sites? For example, Ebates, Top Cashback, Mr. Rebates, and you can get iConsumer credit and rebate for the same purchases. Basically, these sites are similar to iConsumer in that they are what is called a loyalty shopping site. So Ebates, Top Cashback, Mr. Rebates, you go there, you shop, you get cash. iConsumer's model is similar, except that we are offering both cash and shares of stock in iConsumer. Again, as Rob said, we believe that your ownership will entice you to be more loyal to iConsumer and to do all of your shopping through the stores via iConsumer.
Let me jump in, Kim. So we took a look at Ebates and Retail Me Not and Shop at Home and a whole bunch of cashback sites and said, this is a pretty good business to be in. Ebates sold to the Japanese for $960 million when they had 2 million members. That was about $450 per member. Retail Me Not had a 47 multiple, which is just an unheard of number when they sold and when they were public. Taking Ebates for $960 million. Do you know how much money the members got when Ebates sold for $960 million? A big fat zero. The people who made Ebates successful got zip, nada, nothing. And we said, we can build a company just as cool, just as big, just as profitable as Ebates if we enlist our members to help make that so. And by enlisting our members and sharing the opportunity for a home run, with our members, we think we have a great chance to build a great big business.
Excellent. Hopefully that answered that question, Neil. Another one he has is, why do you not get iConsumer stock and cash for your Amazon purchases? Amazon is special, as you go ahead, Rob.
No. Sorry, I thought you were pausing to let me jump in. No, you have a better answer than I do.
One can hope. Amazon does not provide us with what we need to provide you with your rebate, i.e., they don't tell us the member level data of who shopped. So when someone goes through iConsumer to Amazon, iConsumer will earn that commission that we earn from all of the other stores that you're shopping at. But because Amazon won't tell us who made the purchase, we can't tie it back to you for that purchase. So while purchases at Amazon do not get you specifically any extra shares or cash back, it actually is a pretty good deal for iConsumer as a business, because we do still earn that commission, and then we can use that to do things like marketing.
Well, and more, yes, and so Amazon generally pays us a 5% commission. So if you go buy a sweater for $100, we're going to earn $5. Now that $5, almost all of it goes to the bottom line. Let's just say it does go to the bottom line. So that's $5 that goes to the bottom line. And at a 47 multiple, let's call it a 50 multiple, like Retail Me Not had, that means that $5 creates $250 of market cap. So that $5 commission that we got because you shopped at Amazon means that, in theory, at a 50 multiple, iConsumer is now worth $250 more. That's pretty cool.
All right, we still have a couple of more questions. Neil would also like to know, why did you go from Bitcoin to cash? And is that choosable by members?
We went from Bitcoin to cash for a bunch of reasons. The simplest one of which was it was harder to market because we talked about Bitcoin rather than cash. So our costs of marketing were going up because of Bitcoin, not going down because of Bitcoin. The piece in this that's most important from your perspective is that you can request your cash back to be paid to you in Bitcoin at any time. So there's if you've got cashback rebate that you'd like to get sent to you as Bitcoin after the 75 days or 90 days that we allot for returns, you can say, I don't actually want you to send me a check. I want you to transfer Bitcoin to my wallet. So we thought we were giving you the best of both worlds by doing that. Cheaper member acquisition costs, and cheaper means bigger bottom line. And remember, we multiply everything by 47 or 50 to be just like Retail Me Not. That's the power of the multiple.
All right, I think we have just one more question. How do you decide what percentage of stock and what percentage is cash or Bitcoin?
There is no science behind that. We are in the shopper incentive business, and we're always looking for what is the right combination of shopping incentive, whether it be stock or whether it be cash, understanding that the more cash that we include as part of the combination, the less cash we have to grow the business. So that's one of the major dynamics at iConsumer is we're trying to grow and grow as fast as we can, and it takes cash to do that. So that's part of the thinking behind the balance between the stock rebate and the cash rebate. There's one follow-on question to that about Amazon, and we're asked, why don't we promote Amazon more? And we we think we promote Amazon a lot. It sounds like in your case, we're not doing as good a job as we need to do to make sure that you understand the value that shopping at Amazon brings to iConsumer. One of the reasons why we love doing these webinars is that it does give us a chance to get feedback from our owners. So thank you for that comment.
All right, and last question, I think I just misread this one earlier from Neil. He wants to know, can you get cash back on Ebates and iConsumer on the same purchase?
And the answer is no. We are competitive with Ebates, and the stores will not pay us both. But what you can do, Neil, which is very cool, is you can use your cash back credit card or your mileage plus credit card and use that to make a purchase and get your iConsumer cash back, your iConsumer stock back, and your points or cash back on your Discover card or whatever it might be. You can stack those kinds of offers. Well, we're at the end of our half an hour. I want to say thank you to everybody, especially to Neil, who had just a bunch of great questions. I think he asked some of them before some other people had a chance to ask their questions. We are here, support@iconsumer.com, support.iconsumer, and shareholderacademy.com are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, although the support people do tend to sleep during the off hours, so don't expect an instant email response at 3 a.m. in the morning. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you for being an owner. Thank you for being a shareholder. Kim, anything we've missed?
That's all. Everybody have a great day.